Welcome to Our Inner Wisdom. I'm your host, Charlie Lundholm. We are in some intense times right now, and we could all use help finding some balance and clarity. To help with that, I'll be sharing channeled messages, interviews, and discussions on a variety of topics designed to help you feel more grounded, calm, and connected to your source. I thank you so much for being here today. Now let's go tap into our inner wisdom. Hello and welcome. Today we are going to listen to some channeled messages. We'll see who wants to come through and give us some guidance. I get asked a lot, who is it that I channel? And I seem to channel a variety of beings, and getting names isn't always very clear. Very consistent channelings come from a group called the Council of 12. And then sometimes they'll say it's the Council of 36 or the Council of 32, or sometimes it drops down to the Council of 9. And I wonder, what happened to 3 of them? Where did they go? Maybe they got the day off. So we are just going to start and see what they have to say to us today. But they're definitely knocking, so they want me to get going. So you can join me in just grounding out by taking a nice deep breath in. And as you and I both relax, let us drop our shoulders and just let our eyes soften and our mind quiet and see what information is going to come through. So it seems like indeed we are going to be hearing from the Council of 12. And so this is what they have to say. We have so much to share, and we feel like our time here is so limited because of the constraints of a recording of a podcast. But we're grateful for you being here and taking the time to listen to what it is that we want to share with you. We realize that there is a lot of chaos in your world, or there appears to be a lot of chaos. And why we say there appears to be a lot of chaos is because the chaos is, the evidence of the chaos is out of balance with the evidence of non-chaotic states. And we know that sounds a little convoluted, so we're going to try to clarify that. There is an imbalance in your world with your news, with your media, with how you get your information, with how you share information with each other, with your social media. There's an imbalance. There's a desire to only share the dramatic, the terrifying, the scary, the anxiety-producing, the stress-producing. If it doesn't have drama or negativity, then it doesn't make the news. But the juicier the tidbits of negativity or trauma, then that makes it to the front page. That makes it on that loop on your televisions, the news stations that just have the loop. It goes over and over. You are in a place in your world right now where you are being bombarded by information. And some of this information is good, helpful, but a lot of it is not. And we understand the desire to stay informed, and we commend you for that. There's nothing wrong with that. The delivery, however, is what is out of balance. So all you hear about is the negativity. All you see is the dramatic, the traumatic. Even the music. Have you noticed the music on your news stations? How it's dramatic. things that are used to push your buttons, to create an emotional reaction. And this emotional reaction is very draining to the body. It's very draining to the spirit because it's out of balance with the positive. It's out of balance with the non-dramatic. And your world is a beautiful place with beautiful people. And there are the handful that are causing trouble, that are making the noise. And so they get the attention. But when we sit back or step back and choose to keep things in balance, then your nervous system has a chance to unwind, to calm down, because you're not always in the drama lane of the freeway. You get out of it for a bit. And then if you go into it, that's okay, because you can come out of it. So there becomes more of a balance between negative and positive, a balance between the beautiful, good things going on in the world, as well as the negative. Because the negative aspects of what's going on in your world is important to know about, because you get to then make conscious choice of how you want to react to it. Do you want to jump into anger, fear, anxiety? Or do you want to jump into a place of creating positive change? What kind of energy do you want to put out into the world in response to that which is truly dramatic, traumatic, horrific, sad? Because there is a lot of stuff going on in your world, and it's important to remember to keep it in balance. It's important to see the beauty, the kind people, where people are making positive changes, where people are nice to each other, because there's a lot more of that going on than the negative, but you don't get to hear about it. You don't get to see it that often in your media and your news sources and how you get your information. So the responsibility then is yours. You get to choose. Do I want to stay out of balance, where my flow is getting crimped, where I'm being anxious, where I'm being pulled out of my center? Or would I like to have a little more balance in that, where I can stay informed, I can feel those feelings of sadness, anxiety, anger? There are things going on in your world that you don't like. So it's okay to have those feelings. And then what? Do you stay in that space? Do those emotions propel you forward into action? Or are you ready for balance? Can you balance it with, okay, I see this horrible stuff going on in the world, and I see these beautiful things happening in the world. You have the power to make that conscious choice. And in making that conscious choice, you are also choosing what energy you want to put out into the world. And that's a whole other conversation, because thoughts, emotions, beliefs are energy, and they go out. They go out from you. They go out into the world. There's no such thing as a thought wave that doesn't have forward momentum. So the energy that you put out actually goes out around your world in basically what we call a web of interconnectedness. And we're pretty sure you've heard that there is this interconnectedness, like all things are connected. What affects one affects the whole. And we understand that sometimes that's a bit of a hard concept to grasp, to really fully grasp that whatever you do, the thoughts you're having, the choices that you're making, is affecting someone on the other side of your earth, and vice versa. And having the knowledge that that web of interconnectedness is there, being conscious of it helps you ask yourself those questions when you're in that state of imbalance. What energy am I putting out into the world? What am I infusing the world with today? Is it the anger, fear, anxiety? Or am I going to choose to put out love, compassion, understanding, kindness? So you get to choose. There is so much power in conscious choice, so much power. We wish that we could show you what that looks like, that power from conscious choice, how it manifests things. And if you are totally consumed by your news, by your media, then that is a choice. And by staying in those emotions and staying very angry or very fearful, that's what you're feeding the rest of the world. And we're not saying that you have to always be loving and kind and happy and sweet and compassionate. You are here to have a human experience. You have the full range of emotions for a reason, so that you get to feel, so that you get to experience. You're not robots. The emotions help you with your experiences. They give you that depth, that richness, and you get to choose. Where do you want to stay? So we're not saying that you wouldn't ever go into a place of anger or anxiety or fear, but you get to choose how long you want to stay there. You get to choose if that is what you want to be continually putting out into that web of interconnectedness. So we invite you to start being aware, start being conscious of your emotions, where you're spending a majority of your time. We invite you to be conscious, to start being more aware of this web of interconnectedness. What is getting fed? What are you giving fuel to? Lower vibrations or higher vibrations? You get to choose. When you start to play with it more and become more aware of it and start utilizing it, you can start noticing the effect that it has on your nervous system, which has an effect on your health, which has a positive effect on your vitality, on your energetic flow. When you're in balance, the universe likes balance. Your body likes balance. So where are you in balance? Where are you not in balance? And to go back to our starting point of the bombardment of negativity, you get to make some conscious choice about how you will be informed and how you will balance that, how you will get your information. And then when you get your information and you feel those emotions of, say, anger or fear, despair, hopelessness, whatever they may be, and then decide in that moment, do I want to stay here? Does this need to be some kind of catalyst for me to do something? That do something could be a physical doing, like going out and joining a group that is making a difference in the world. It could be sending light and love around the world, doing energy work. It could be that you choose in that moment to balance it by seeing the beauty outside your window, thinking of the kindness of the stranger that you met in the grocery store, the kindness of the person that let you in traffic. See, all those little things that we just kind of take for granted are acts of kindness. They're acts of compassion. They're kindness, meaning that they are love-based. That's powerful when we allow ourselves to be conscious of that. And then when we're in that state, consciously choosing, yes, I like the loving, the compassion, the kindness. I'm balancing out what I just heard on the news with that vision from the kind stranger in the grocery store. Now you've restored balance. You can focus even more on the wonderful experiences you've had today. And this not only helps your own physical body, your own state of wellness and happiness, but it also helps the world. So we invite you to start being conscious, paying attention throughout the day, checking in. How am I feeling? Where am I hanging out? How bogged down did I get when I listened to the news? When my friend told me that story? When I saw that post on Facebook? And then choose. Okay, I got pretty bogged down. I'm feeling pretty miserable. Do I want to stay here? Yes, I want to stay here. Okay, then stay in it and get the benefit. But if you don't want to stay there, you want to balance it with the love and the kindness that you know exists in this world, that you know exists in your life. So you have a reference to go to. And if you choose to go there, then go there. Let that infuse you. Let that balance those lower, denser vibrational energies and emotions. Knowing that you are constantly putting things out into that web of interconnectedness. How do you want to be affecting your world? What part do you want to play? What's your role? Maybe you get to choose a new role. Maybe your new role is just being the conscious fueler. You're like the gas station attendant, even though I'm not sure you even have those anymore. The conscious giver of positive high vibrational energy. The conscious giver of that fuel of love and compassion, higher vibrational energy to yourself. What a gift. And then it has the ripple effect. And then you share it with your loved ones, with your friends, with your coworkers, with your neighbors, with your community. And it goes out from there with your state, with your nation, with your world. And guess what? It even goes past that. Then it becomes universal. And that's a big concept, isn't it? And that is definitely a discussion for another day. But we just wanted to bring this to your attention because it is so prevalent in your world. This bombardment of the lower vibrational energies. And we invite you to balance it. And we invite you to do this for yourself because it's important for you as well as your world. And it may not sound simple, but it is. Just begin by checking in. How am I feeling? How am I getting my information? What am I doing with my information? What am I doing with my emotions after I listen to the news? Am I in balance with it? Am I so focused on the negative I have lost my ability to see the positive? There are many, many people in that state right now in your world. They are so bogged down by the heaviness of the negativity. They've lost their ability to see the light, the joy, the happiness, the beauty, the kindness, the compassion, the love. And we want to make a little bit of a clarification here that when we say things like negative, like those, anger, fear, anxiety, like those are negative, like somehow they're bad, they're all part of the human experience. But because they have a different density, they have a lower vibrational frequency than love and compassion, joy and happiness. It's important that they stay in balance with those higher frequencies It's important for your emotional well-being. It's important for your physical well-being. It's important for your energetic flow of your body. It's important for your soul and your spirit. So you can always ask the question, is it to my highest good to stay angry? Is it to my highest good to stay in fear? Is it helping me? Is it helping me to make a change? Do I like being in that space? And if the answers to any of that are no, I don't want to stay here. I don't like it. I'm not getting a benefit. It's not being a catalyst for me to make a change. Then you get to make the conscious choice and say, okay, how would I prefer to be feeling? I've just been bombarded by a horrible news story. Everyone in the office is talking about it. I feel like I just want to go hide in a cave. That's when you get to choose. Choose to see the beauty. Think of a loving time in your life. It can instantly shift it. It can shift you from wanting to go to that cave to being okay because you're in balance. You're coming from a place of wholeness. You're coming from a place of compassion, having compassion for all that is going on in your world and those who are having a tough time, as well as having compassion for yourself, having that unconditional love for yourself, that your well-being is important, your happiness is important, your health is important, and your emotions and where you hang out in those emotions all plays a part in your health, in your well-being, and you get to choose. So we invite you to play with this concept. We invite you to check in throughout the day. How am I feeling? Where am I hanging out? Am I on the happy side? Am I on the angry side? Do I want to stay there? Yes, no, make your conscious choice. Own it. It's okay. And then take notice of how you feel. Take notice of how you are feeling before you make a conscious choice and after you make that conscious choice. Coming from a place of balance makes it easier to be aware of where you are at any given moment, where you're coming from. It also makes it easier to step up and out of those lower vibrational energies and emotions. You are more powerful than you give yourself credit for. And you are also supported by your own guides, by your own helpers. So call on them. There's so much help. And there is an understanding in the universe that help needs to be asked for. Because if guides, helpers just zoom in and take over and tell you what to do, that is known as interference. And that is not allowed because that's not to your highest good. That makes you a non-active part of the whole process. You're an active participant. This is your life. So again, we invite you to play with this, to just become conscious of it, to start understanding, and to start choosing. And we feel like we have put out enough, seeing as how we were talking about bombardment, and here we have bombarded you. Thank you for being here. And with that, we close. Okay, so they have finished talking. I think there was some really good information in there. And I know for myself, it's very easy to get bogged down, like they were talking about, getting bogged down by the news or by something that somebody says, or being around people who are just in that continual loop of what's going on in the world, and they love the drama, and they love that rush that they get from it, and they love telling you about it. And then I feel that suddenly they feel better because they've gotten all this stuff off their chest, and now I'm feeling like I have a ton of bricks on my shoulders. So I think this idea of being conscious is so important, of checking in throughout the day of how am I feeling? Where am I? Where do I want to be? And then making those choices. Really excellent information because it can help keep us feeling happier, lighter, keeps our energy clearer, cleaner. It also keeps us, in that place of not being a victim because now we are choosing how we want to feel and making forward steps to making that happen. So, yeah, interesting. So I would love to know how this goes for you. If you incorporate this practice, just let me know. Did it help? Did you notice a difference? How has it helped you or not helped you? Either way, but I would love to know. And maybe if you put it in the comments, then we can all learn from each other in this. Thank you so much for joining me and all of these beautiful guides, and I thank them for coming in and sharing their information with us today. And I look forward to speaking with you again next time. Thank you for listening. For more inspiration or to find out more about my work and upcoming classes, please visit ourinnerwisdom.com. And for beautiful crystals and minerals, please visit our sister site at earthgallery.com. Until next time, keep tapping in to your own inner wisdom.